welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video for the Makers Creative Collab hosted by PM Artist Studios in their Facebook group, Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists. That's a mouthful. And this month what we're doing is a swap. So someone sent me these 3 items and the theme that we were to do was old is new. So I was very fortunate that Kristina sent me these 3 items. This is her YouTube channel, Pages of an Art Journal, and I will link her below. And I was thinking about how to use these items. So there's a paper piecing, some doilies, and a magazine from 1977. They're talking about the 20s, and I was, obviously struck by this image of Clara Kimball Young, who was an actress. And she passed away in 1960, but she was in a lot of movies in the early 1920s. I was trying to think about how to incorporate the theme, and what I came up with was to maybe use new technology to alter this image. So I think I'm gonna use this image that I created in Procreate. I'm just gonna talk briefly about how I altered this image. So I scanned it into my computer and I converted it to more of a black and white. This is the image in Procreate. Procreate's just an app I have on my iPad. It's an iPad Pro, and use a pencil, and you can use it to draw and things, but you can also use it to alter images. So here I'll just show you an example of the different ways I had altered the image, and these are quite easy to achieve. So that's one image I went with, and you can see when I printed it was a lot duller than that because of my printer, but that I was fine with that. So I'm just scrolling through. That's another image I used, and that's another image I used, but you can do all sorts of things. For example, let's go back to, these are different layers, and it's a fairly inexpensive app. This was about $10 on my in the App Store. So I'm just gonna go and show you some simple ways to alter images. So you open your layer by clicking on it, and then you can go to adjustments. So one easy way is you go to gradient map, and then there's all sorts of different things you can do with that. There's other themes, I guess, color themes, and you can just play with, you can do all sorts of things. It's really limitless what you can do. So let's say we have, let's go with this one. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. And then once you've played with the gradient maps, you can add different things like halftone. So you could add halftone to it. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like that one. I'm actually going to save that. I'm going to add a new layer. Go back to this one now. That one actually is chromatic aberration. So I mean, I'm not going to give you a whole tutorial on iPad. I mean, you can find lots of images on that. So there's a chromatic aberration one. You can play with what direction you do the chromatic aberration. So it separates the colors basically, and it displaces them. Let's say we have that, and let's go, I'll just show you one more little. So let's say we go to that one and we want to add glitch. So it adds just different waves, and you can manipulate all sorts of things with that till you find something you like, which I haven't seen one that I like yet. So when I played with the images, I didn't really know what I was going to go for. I just played till I got something I liked. So that's kind of interesting to me. So I'll save that one too. And then you export it to your images, and then you can print it, or you could do whatever you want. So I just want to give you a quick overview of that way of manipulating images in Procreate. I'm sure there's lots of programs you can use on your computer, or you might already have something that you can use, but I just wanted to just do a quick demo to show you how I manipulated this image to come up with the collages that I did. And then I'm going to make some painty papers using these items here to, you know, kind of go with the collage with that color scheme. And then I'm going to make a collage using some images from this book I just received from Skittle Dog Books. And I'll have a flip through of this book on a video that I'll be posting very soon. And I used images from this book to create the final piece. Here's a lot of the painty papers I made and some of the images I cut out. I'll try to show some of the process up in the corner when I show my collages. I'll show you my final collages now. I did them all on this Bristol paper, which is 11 by 14 inches. So it's a nice thick base to do the collage on. So these were pretty simple. On this first collage, swap items were the doily used in this jelly print, and I'll show a process video of making that jelly print up here. And this is the actual edge piece that she sent me, and there's the image that I manipulated as we discussed. You can see the iridescence of that one. So here's the doily I used for that. This was a stencil by PM Artist Studios. This was a piece of that paper piece that she'd sent me, and again the altered image. And then these little pieces are from that cut and collage book, as were all of these pieces here. These are the flowers that I colorized. And then the last one, this is a stencil from PM Artist Studios. This was a jelly print made using that paper piecing. This is the doily that was colored when I did my jelly prints, and then I just cut it out and added it to the altered image here, and then just a few little images from that cutout and collage book. I thought I would show a bit of the collaging process here. On the right, I'm just making those extra pieces fit. That yellow one was made on the jelly plate, and the pink one was just a roll-off sheet. So I'm just changing the size. On the left, you can see I'm just using double stick tape to glue down my jelly print onto that Bristol paper. And on the right, I'm using some matte medium to lay down those jelly prints onto the Bristol paper. So I'm doing it underneath, like on the Bristol paper, underneath the jelly print, and then over top the jelly print to smooth it out. On the left, I don't use any matte medium because the images that I created on my printer, like the lady, she's actually, she was water soluble because it is inkjet. You could spray fixative it and then it would work okay, but I was happy just doing more of a dry collage. On the right, I'm using that jelly print there. I didn't show making that jelly print, but here's an image of the material I used to make that pattern that someone had sent me. And I picked it up using some wet strength tissue paper called Carnival. And I was very fortunate. My friend Eddie Makes Art sent that to me, and I'll link his channel below. And you can see when you glue it down, it does blend into the background, so you can see the colors coming through. I'll show it a bit closer later. The more matte medium I use, the more it showed the underneath color. And so there again, I put it on the base and then over top of the jelly, the tissue paper. And here I'm just adding a bit more tissue paper, cutting off the excess. And on the bottom there, that's the wet strength Carnival tissue as well. Over on the left there, I'm adding the just cardstock that I printed the image on, and on the right I'm adding it too, so it works out. So there, I didn't want to use any matte medium, so you can see I just used Aleene's tacky glue and some glue stick to spread that out to make it nice and flat, and then I just pressed it on firmly. And here just adding the finishing touches. And when I glued the butterflies on the left side there, I just glued the center of it and I tried to pop out the wings a little bit. And on the right, I'm just adding a little egg and a little hummingbird. So I was pretty happy with that. This was my first time using the Carnival wet strength tissue, and it went down really well, and it is quite transparent. I learned that the more matte medium you use, the more transparent it is. So I would encourage you to not be stingy with your glue or your matte medium that you're using. But I enjoyed using that very much. Thanks to Eddie for sending that to me, and please check out his channel as well. And I think these would kind of make a cool triptych, so 3 together. I think my favorite one's probably this one here. So check out all the videos in the hop. There'll be a link to the next video up there. You could check my description for the playlist. Thanks again to PM Artist Studios for organizing this hop. Thank you to my swap partner, Kristina. Please check her out, link below. And I hope you found a bit of inspiration in this, and enjoy the rest of the hop. Bye.